Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sarah in the Universe. I'm Sarah, and today we are going to be talking about episode 7 of The Boys Season 4. This was a Christmas episode, and boy, did it deliver on the gifts. First, before we get into the video, I want to thank those of you who are subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much for being subscribed to the channel and for checking out another episode review of The Boys Season 4 with me. Okay, so if you guys watched my last week's review of The Boys episode 6, I believe, I was not too happy with that episode for some reasons. You can go check that out. And I was really worried how that would go on for these last 2 episodes of the season. Well, I'm happy to report, for the most part, I really liked this episode. There was something I did not like about it. I'm sure if you watched my video last week, you'll probably know what it is, and I'll get into that at the very end, because it literally was at the end of the episode. But let's talk about how much I really enjoyed this episode, okay? So this was a Christmas episode, which I did not expect the boys to do. I was totally caught off guard by that, and I really liked that they did a Christmas episode, especially dropping in the summertime. If you know me, I'm more into Halloween and spooky stuff. I think Christmas is great, but you know what? I'm just like, let's get into the spooky. But I really enjoyed actually getting to see a Christmassy episode for the boys in the summer. I thought that was really fun to do. And they start off by having Ryan do this like puppet special for kids from Vought. And I gotta tell you, we gotta see some of those puppets in Gen V. Those puppets scare the you-know-what out of me. I am terrified of them. I think they look scary. I don't like it. I think I have a puppet phobia. I'm good on that. That was probably the scariest thing I've seen this season. I don't like those puppets. But yeah, they had Ryan filming this Christmas special for kids, telling them to report on their parents if their parents are doing, a number of things that Homelander doesn't agree with, okay? And yeah, I really like seeing that Ryan was like, hey, this isn't right, and he's, standing up for that. And, jumping, I'm just going to be jumping around here. I may forget some things that happened this episode. I'm just going out what stood out to me, okay? So forgive me on that. But, Ryan at the end, he's like, it's live, and he's like, yeah, I actually think this is wrong. I was so glad to see Ryan do that. I'm so glad to see Ryan, really standing up to his dad and saying, you know what, I don't agree with what you believe in. I don't agree with what you want me to do. And, I actually saw someone, I'm always on Reddit. Someone on Reddit posted a really cool thing in the boys sub, and if someone had left a comment, I think on someone else's YouTube video, and it was a really great comment, kind of talking about how like Homelander wants unconditional love from Ryan, but it's not like Homelander's only happy when it like Ryan's doing stuff that makes him happy, not the other way around. Like Homelander doesn't want to do stuff that's going to make Ryan happy, you know what I mean? And I feel like that just really sums up how toxic that relationship is, and how, it's just Homelander wanting these things. Like he's still going to go around doing these evil things, still wanting Ryan to accept that, even though Ryan's like, no, I don't think that's right, and I'm not going to say it. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see how that unfolds in the finale, and also, in season 5 being the last. So yeah, so that was the Ryan stuff. Butcher finally tells the group about the soup virus that was, cooking up from what we saw in Gen V. And, what he took Samir away to go and do. And, at first he's like, this would cause, the group's like, this would cause like a pandemic. But he's like, no, we're only going to use it on Homelander and Newman, right? We'll see how that goes. So, they're kind of going, looking out for all this stuff about what's going to happen in next week's episode, which I'm just not even going to talk about that. But anyway, they find out about this like shapeshifter like creature that I guess is kind of like going to be very involved with whatever's happening in next week's episode. And it's just crazy, like what she was doing, how that was just like straight out of like a horror movie. Like she could like touch somebody and then she'll transform into them, and then she's like ripping her face off. Oh, it was so crazy. But yeah, that was the thing. And so I don't know, it's going to be really crazy next week. I don't even know what to expect, to be honest. And then, I think like the craziest thing to me from this episode was when Butcher and Starlight, Annie, go back to their compound, and they are met by the Deep and Black Noir, and the Deep and Black Noir go crazy on Butcher and Starlight. They're like fighting them, and Starlight, she's been struggling with her powers, so unfortunately she doesn't have her full strength to go after the Deep, which was really heartbreaking to watch for me as a Starlight fan. Of course, you know what the Deep did to her in episode 1. So I was like, and just all that stuff he was saying. I gotta tell you, I know Homelander's like the evil character in the show, but the Deep pisses me off so much. Speaking of the Deep, we're gonna get to his weird octopus stuff after this. But, A-Train shows up being not just the hero of this episode, but the hero, the GOAT of season 4. And I've got to say that A-Train has had the best character development in The Boys I've ever seen. It just for him to go from a character that was really annoying to being like the star of the show, finally realizing what it means to be a good superhero, a helpful hero. Incredible. A-Train, I was screaming for joy. This is what stole the episode for me. And I was like, yes, this is The Boys, Oh my gosh. And just while we're on the note of A-Train, he goes back to Ashley, because earlier before that they were talking about Ashley was like, we need to leave, like Homelander's gonna come after us, whatever. Because, she's feeling really guilty about what she did to Cameron Coleman. So then, after, and by the way, I loved when A-Train told the Deep when he was taking him out, he's like, I never liked you. I was like, yes, A-Train. A-Train is just my favorite now. Like, I love him, man. Oh, he's so good. But yeah, he goes back to Ashley, which was so nice. And he's like, come on, Ashley, like, come with me. Like, let's go. I'm taking my family out. And she's like, no, I gotta stay. It reminded me of how, like, on the Titanic, the captain of the ship stayed behind as the ship was sinking. He didn't get on the lifeboat. That's what Ashley reminds me of. But it was really sweet of A-Train to go back for her. And luckily, he was able to get his family out, which I was scared as soon as A-Train was going to open the door from Ashley's, like, office. I thought Homelander would be there. Oh, thank God. It was a Christmas miracle. So that was great. Okay, and the stuff with the Deep, the octopus, I forgot her name already, whatever. Dude, he is so crazy. He is so crazy, man. I mean, shout out to Chase Crawford for playing this character. You're taking Chase Crawford and making his character so unlikable. I mean, that is crazy. But the way he was with that octopus, it just made me so uncomfortable. And then he just let her just pass away the way she did. And it was just very weird, cruel at the same time, and very uncomfortable. And then I think that, I'm sorry, I'm just like kind of going too fast. I don't want to make the video super long. I'm trying to just get my opinions out here. But yes, Homelander does fire Sage, for the whole leak thing and, the A-Train stuff and all that. Makes me wonder if Sage is going to team up with Butcher now, or is she just going to go off and do her own thing? I think we'll find out, obviously, in the finale, but I'd have to think for being the smartest soup, she probably knew that was coming, so I'm sure she has some plans going on, as we can see at the end of the episode, which I'm going to get to. So I thought that was really interesting. And then Homelander, oh my gosh, like so much happened with the web weaver guy. Is his name Web Weaver? I apologize. I try to look at my notes. I can't remember everything. Yeah, so they, with Sage telling him. So I think, that was like earlier on in the episode where he rips apart Web Weaver, and it's just so, oh gosh, it was awful. But Web Weaver's so gross, I kind of like didn't mind it. I was like, no, whatever, sorry. But yeah, they fire Sister Sage over all that stuff. I loved her character. I wish they did more with her. I think obviously we're going to see her in the finale, and maybe if she survives that season 5. I think she had such a great introduction to the show. I kind of wish we saw more from her other than what we saw before Homelander fired her. So whatever they have planned for her next, I really hope they have a lot, because I really liked her. So we'll see. And then there's this whole, man, so much happened in this episode. I feel like that's why I'm trying to like rush to say things. The Samir, before he tried to, or while he did, escape, he injected Kimiko with the soup virus. So Frenchie had to amputate her leg. That was crazy, but I think her leg's growing back. I don't know if you noticed the baby leg. It was just crazy. So that was crazy. And then let's just get to the end. I hope I didn't. I feel like I missed a ton of stuff. I apologize. I'm trying not to make this too long, but Huey, they're at home, back at their apartment or whatever, Starlight, and we see Starlight wearing Annie's suit, which earlier in the episode, Annie's mom lets her know because they're on like a Zoom chat, and she's like, yeah, Huey saved actually your Starlight suit. So we see Starlight wearing that in the bedroom, and she's kind of like being all, seducing Huey, and then they get into it. And we find out that was not actually Annie, but the shapeshifter who encounters her in a bar, and she steals Annie's look. And the real Annie is actually locked up in someone's basement. yeah, the shapeshifter Annie does the business, does the deed with Huey, and steals his laptop and is on the move. Obviously going to go into the finale. Now, listen, I get that was a crazy review. My opinion, if you watch my video from last week, why is all this crazy, disgusting stuff happening to Huey twice in a row? I get the show is shocking. In my opinion, I'll talk about this in the my review after the show is over, in the finale review. I think that The Boys, in my opinion, has leaned too much into the shock value for some of the stuff, other than leaning more into the story. This season feels leaning more into shock than storytelling, and I think that's why if it's just this, like I said in my last episode review, it feels very disjointed. You know, I feel like we had a lot of cool story development in this episode and in this season, but it's just unfortunate. I get that's the show, but it's just been taken away by these, in my opinion, unnecessary shock value stuff, especially with Huey. You make him go through his dad dying. He has that horrible violating stuff going on at Tech Knight's house. And then this with the shapeshifter. I can't say the words, but you know what it is. In my opinion, that's too much for one character, especially Huey. Heck, even if it happened to, like, Homelander, I'd still be like, whoa, it's too much, you know what I mean? And it's like, what is this? Like, what are you trying to prove? I love A-Train's writing and development. I love what they're doing with A-Train this season. But with Huey, it's absolutely disgusting, and it's making me side-eye the show a little bit this season, where I'm like, what is this? Why is Huey? You know, I get that a lot of the characters have been really going through it this season and in the show. But for Huey this season, so much bad stuff has happened to him. You wonder if they're just trying to make Huey the villain this season. It's just so ridiculous. I'll probably talk about this more later on. I did a whole rant about it in my last episode reviews. You can check that out if you want to see. But I'm really disappointed with the writing for Huey this season, the choices that are being made. I think it's absolutely disgusting, even for a show that heavily relies on shock factor. I think, there has to be some kind of like, are we going too far? Because I think they have gone too far. Not in like a funny way where stuff they've done before is like funny, like it's shocking. It's just gross and wrong. And a lot of people are noticing it. So, they're calling it out, and I can't blame them. And I won't. I love the show, clearly. But I'm going to call it out, and I think it's gross, and I really hope in season 5, assuming that Huey, Jack Quaid most likely will be in that season, I think it's gross, and I think they should really stop doing it. So, yeah. So that was my episode review on episode 7. For the most part, I really liked it. By the way, I didn't realize my shirt says a 7 with obviously the 7 on there. This was episode 7. Okay, crazy. But I liked it for the most part, especially the A-Train stuff. Amazing. But yeah, the Huey, so the finale is going to be amped up to be something really big. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to talk about it. And also in that episode review, I will be getting all of my thoughts, what I thought in general about season 4. So stay tuned for that. Guys, I want to know what you thought of The Boys season 4, episode 7, and what you thought about this season in general. Thank you guys so much for watching another Boys episode review with me. I cannot wait to see you in my next one, guys. Take care and have a great one. And yeah, let's see that finale, right? Thanks, guys.